Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into uh, a really persistent headache in big projects. You've got this intense pressure to hit construction milestones on time, but it just slams right into these old school manual ways we still use to track progress.
Mhm.
And that gap, that's where everything gets lost: time, money, even trust.
It's the Achilles heel, really, of modern project execution, and that is exactly why we're looking at Vision AI for automated progress tracking, specifically in complex construction, because that's where you see the most friction. Our mission today is to, uncover how this tech really provides a shortcut to precise real-time insights.
That promise of a shortcut is what really jumped out at us. I mean, you're talking about moving away from someone walking the site once a week with a clipboard to an always-on system that gives you visual proof of every single milestone.
Yeah.
It's about replacing guesswork with hard data. Okay, so let's unpack this technology. If Vision AI is going to be the automated eyes on the site, what's actually under the hood? I think we need to get past the buzzwords and into the mechanics.
For sure. What's so fascinating is that it's really an integration of advanced computer vision. That's the software that lets a computer see, with some really powerful machine learning models. Think of it like teaching a computer what a finished job looks like, down to the smallest detail. And to be specific, this isn't just sticking up a few security cameras. The system uses cameras, sometimes even drones, all placed strategically across the site. They are constantly just ingesting images and then comparing those live pictures against the project's digital blueprint, which is usually a 4D BIM model.
Okay, hold on. So how does the machine learning part actually? How does it tell the difference between, say, rebar has been delivered and rebar is installed and ready for the concrete pour? That feels like a huge jump.
It is, and it takes some pretty meticulous training. It's a bit like teaching a child, but with construction parts. You feed the AI thousands and thousands of labeled images. This picture is 30% of the steel frame done. This one is the foundation pour at 100%. The AI starts to learn the visual cues, the shapes, the textures, the exact positions that mean a milestone is met. So it can check, automatically, that a finished rebar cage lines up perfectly with the 4D model.
That makes sense for, clear structural things. But job sites are chaotic. You've got dust, workers, materials blocking the view. How does the system stay accurate when the environment is basically working against it?
Yeah, that's where the learning part of machine learning really comes in. The models are trained to ignore that noise. They use algorithms to track things even when they're temporarily blocked, and often you have multiple camera angles confirming the same thing.
So it's redundant.
Exactly. If one camera gets blinded by a dust cloud, another one from a different angle picks up the slack. The goal here is certainty, not a guess from one photo.
And the scope of this tracking, right, it sounds like it goes way beyond just checking if a wall is standing.
Oh, it does. So confirming the physical stuff like HVAC, ducts, or utility lines are installed, that's the main job, sure. But Vision AI is also doing critical logistics tracking. It's watching materials arrive, and maybe more importantly, how and when they're used. So it can track that, say, a specific batch of concrete arrived at 7 a.m., was moved to location A by 8:15, and was being poured by 9:00, right on schedule. It's watching both the structure and the supply chain that builds it.
That jump from just raw video to actionable knowledge, that's where the real value is. So let's drill down into those tangible benefits. What are the key features of project managers actually using day to day?
Absolutely. The first big one that just transforms how they work is automated visual documentation and variance reporting. The system isn't just taking photos, it's automatically creating these complex reports by checking the visuals against the schedule. And the key part is the variance report. If the model says 25 facade panels should be up by noon, but the AI only sees 15, it immediately flags a schedule variance. And that alert includes the proof, the timestamp photos of the delay. It turns a picture into a data point.
That sounds incredible, but practically speaking, what kind of time does that save? I mean, in actual hours. Because manual verification is a huge drain.
It's a massive saving. The sources we looked at suggest that going from a daily manual walkthrough, which takes a manager hours of walking, taking notes, then typing it all up, to instant automated verification can save upwards of 15, maybe 20 hours a week on a big site. That's time they get back for actual problem solving.
That's a huge return right there, which leads to the second feature, I think. As a manager, I don't want to find out about a problem in tomorrow morning's report. I need to know now.
Precisely. And that's feature number 2. Real-time updates and predictive issue flagging. The second the AI spots a problem, an alert gets pushed to the right person's phone or their project management software. No more waiting. I mean, think about the classic bottleneck on a big job, right? The resource conflicts. We've all heard the story of one crane being needed for two critical tasks at the same exact time.
Right. The crane is waiting for the steel delivery, but the concrete pour is delayed because the truck can't get past the crane. Classic mess.
Exactly. Vision AI sees that happening proactively. If it sees the HVAC team just waiting at the loading dock for 45 minutes and the cameras confirm the crane is busy on the other side of the site, the AI flags a potential bottleneck before the crew even calls it in. The PM can then reroute the crane or shuffle the schedule right then and there. That turns a potential hour-long cascade of delays into a 5-minute fix.
Wow, that's the difference between being reactive and actually being predictive. Seeing a problem based on waiting time.
And that flows right into the third key feature, which is optimized resource management. Because the AI is tracking materials from arrival to use, you get this amazing feedback loop. If it sees a crew is burning through, say, fasteners way faster than their progress would suggest, it flags it. Maybe there's waste, or maybe you just need to reorder now to avoid a stoppage tomorrow. And it helps manage big ticket items, like heavy equipment. If one part of the site is consistently behind schedule, based on the visual proof, the AI might suggest moving a second excavator from a zone that's ahead of schedule. It's optimizing the whole operation to keep the main project on track.
So it's not just about accuracy. It's about giving the management team the data to pivot and reallocate without having to guess. It puts the project on rails.
That's the core of it, yes. Now let's talk about the wider impact on execution. Because when you have instant access to verified data, your teams can stop analyzing what happened yesterday and start making forward-looking decisions. That is so important for controlling costs.
Okay, but let's be practical. For this to work, it needs to talk to all the other software people are already using. Scheduling, finance. I mean, are companies being forced to rip out everything they already have to adopt this?
That's a huge question for adoption, you're right. But these systems are built with APIs. Basically, they're designed to plug into existing tools like Primavera or Procore. The source material suggests there's an upfront cost for the hardware, of course, but the ROI from labor savings and fewer delay penalties is often very, very fast. They're made to improve the workflow, not to force a complete overhaul.
And just think about transparency. This is a massive boost for that. All the stakeholders, investors, clients, they can get accurate real-time reports. They don't have to wait for a summary to travel up the chain of command. They can see the proof for themselves.
That visibility is a complete game changer. Let's break it down for each group. For project managers, they stop being data collectors and become proactive risk managers. They get hours back in their day.
And for the actual construction teams on the ground, they get this immediate, clear visual feedback. They know exactly what's done and what needs focus, which cuts out ambiguity and helps them hit their targets.
And finally, the people paying the bills, the investors and clients, they get automated reports backed by visual proof. That builds so much trust in the schedule and the budget. That certainty is just invaluable on these massive projects.
Okay, so to sum it all up, Vision AI is really changing the game for progress tracking in construction. It automates verification, which boosts accuracy and accountability, and it saves a huge amount of time and money by getting rid of that information lag.
Absolutely. And as projects just get more and more complex, modern skyscrapers, huge infrastructure jobs, this kind of technology is going to become essential. It's really the difference between managing that complexity and just being totally overwhelmed by it. It keeps everyone, from the crew to the client, on the same page.
And here's where it gets really interesting, a final thought for you to chew on. If automated reporting gives you almost perfect control over the physical build, the progress, the materials, the technical side, what part of project failure is going to be the last thing this kind of AI can solve? Maybe it's something more human, like subcontractor disputes or an unforeseen permitting issue. Something for you to think about until the next deep dive.